Hey guys, welcome to the Life on Purpose podcast. It's Ella and Ella from Grow with the Flow. Here we explore all things personal growth and self-discovery.
We hope to inspire you, empower you to explore your growth, and to remind you that you're never alone. So let's get right into it. Let's grow.
Hi guys.
Hi everyone.
We're both here. Woo!
Yeah, it feels like it's been so long.
It has been so long.
Welcome to the Life on Purpose podcast with Ella and Ella. I'm Ella.
And I'm Ella. We just laugh every time we introduce ourselves in person to people. They think we're joking.
I know, it never gets old.
Yeah, they're like, wait, what? Or if I'm out without like other Ella, people think I'm talking about myself in third person. Like, Ella needs to go here. And they're like, what? Anyways, it's a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh. Well, welcome back. We are so excited to be chatting with you guys today. We are excited to be together having a conversation again. We've had I guess it's been like 5 weeks since we sat down
together
and recorded together.
I think it was the trip.
Oh my gosh.
So almost over a month.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I can't believe that's only been a month. That feels like 3 years ago.
Like we're in July already. That's wild.
That's wild. So we just thought today would be a good time to just do a little recap with everyone, talk about what we've been up to. Insane.
It lit up. Like we were out in the water. Like we weren't on shore. Like we were out. I don't want to say in the middle of the ocean because we could see land, but it was lighting the way.
Yeah.
Like it felt like it was brighter than it was.
Oh, it was so cool. So yeah, I'm going to pull a card from the Heavenly Bodies Astrology deck. It's such a beautiful deck by Lily Ashwell. And this is just for anyone who needs to set an intention for the day, or they are mulling over something and need a bit of guidance or an answer, or just for anyone who needs anything. The card I pulled was Leo.
Ooh.
And it's for self-confidence, loyalty, and creativity. Okay, the Leo card, the keywords. The energetics are warmth, loyalty, pride, confidence, experiences, creativity, generosity, play, and performing. And the shadow is arrogant, vain, unwilling to admit fault.
Leo.
And the omen is, do you ever morph into an unnatural shape to fit in or to avoid taking up too much space? Your angels have come to say you are perfect and lovable just as you are, a beautiful, unique soul. Authentic self-expression is your birthright. Recognize where you twist and shrink and allow yourself to express more freely. Live out loud and give energy to things that ignite genuine joy and passion within. Move away from relationships that dim your light. Wear your eccentricities with pride. Be true to yourself. Being true to yourself is a noble act, inspiring others to do the same.
I love that. I was just saying to Ella, I couldn't remember if the full moon was in Leo or Capricorn. But either way, this time of the year, since we're at the 6-month marker, we're at that halfway point of our year, the year as we know it, from January 1st. So it really is a time to revisit our intentions, or like Ella said, set a new intention, or whatever it looks like for you. It's a time where we can reflect on what's working, what's not working, how the first half of the year went, if there's anything we'd like to see change or grow in the second half. It's just a nice little reminder to check in with yourself. And obviously Ella and I are very passionate about inspiration and just inspiring people to do whatever it is that they're called to do. So I feel like that card was very fitting.
Yeah, and it's so funny because last time I sat down, I pulled a card that was exactly like that. That was just shine your light so that other people will shine theirs. It's like the theme.
It is.
Right now. But yeah, with revisiting goals and stuff like that, I feel like it's such a great time right now because we're so excited at the beginning of the year, and we're so excited to just change everything and have a fresh year to be this is all the things I want to do. And then the middle there, you just go into I don't know what happens. Like there was like a time warp, and I was like, I don't know who I am, where I am, what am I meant to be doing? So it feels good to just have almost like an excuse to be like, wait,
let's start.
Yeah,
let's do something.
Like recalibrate.
It's so true. February. Ella and I just learned the other day that February was my Saturn return, and it's so funny because we found this out after the fact. But in February, I was saying to Ella, I'm like, I don't know what's happening. My body was sick, physically sick, multiple times, which is so unlike me. The first half of the year, it's so true. You start off like running. It's like the gyms, January 1st. It's like everyone has this like extra little bit of motivation, and it's hard to hold on to that. And it's also unrealistic. It's like what the goals you set for yourself doesn't need to be that way for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's important to like revisit and see what's working, see what maybe isn't working.
Yeah. Or why you set that goal in the first place.
100%.
Yeah. At the beginning of the year, I had this like spreadsheet, and every single night I'd go and like check things off of it. And it got so, at first it was fun, and then it got so overwhelming that I was like, oh, I can't do it. Even like checking it off of the checklist became a chore. And I was just like, what are you doing?
It's almost like unsustainable.
Yeah, exactly. That has been a big lesson this year of like, it's good to have goals, and it's good to always like be improving yourself, but not at like the detriment to go in the other way.
1,000,000%.
Where it's just too much and you're like, why am I even doing this again?
Yeah.
Like,
Ella and I have been saying how, first of all, how big of a self-discovery journey being an entrepreneur is. And just being on your own spiritual, personal growth journey, like all of it combined, it's like the moment you think, and this is the thing, we never started this platform thinking we knew everything. It's actually the exact opposite.
Yeah.
But you think you're at like a level, and then the universe is like, no, I have so much more to teach you. So every time we say we're there with you, we truly are. Just trust me when I say that.
It's so true.
We were like looking at our goals, like as the business. I giggle like because it's like you can get so hard on yourself. Like I know for me, I can get so hard on myself if I'm not hitting that exact number I had thought or this. But it's important, I think, to look at the progress in between, even if it's not where you had hoped to be.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. We need to think about all the things. Like, imagine the 25-year-old version of me. If I could tell her where I was now, she'd be like, no way. But then I get so hard on myself about things now, and I'm like, we need to take that time to be like, we've come so far. So far. We're living one version of ourselves' dreams. Mm-hmm. We are.
Big time.
How, like, we'll always want to go further. We'll always want to get somewhere, no matter when, even at 80 years old.
Yep.
So it's important to look back and be like, this is freaking awesome.
It is. Yeah. Like, just stop to smell the roses. Because it's so true. Like, in the world we live in, we're just, your eyes are open to so many ways of living, and it's hard not to, like, want to keep up with other people, but that's not the point. Like, it has to work for you, and it has to make you feel good. And I think, again, coming back to that. So if this time of the year is suggesting anything, it's revisit your goals, revisit your why. And your is the key word. Like, what do you, like, it needs to be for you.
Yeah. And also a big one is revisit, like, how you're spending time, and if there's something that really isn't serving you. That's a big one too, where you're just like, if we're always like adding things on, but we sometimes forget to like let things go, which is all a part of the process too. So, which I think is hard, because once you're already in it and doing something, it's hard. But I think if anything, that's the most important one.
I was literally going to say, I think that's even more important than adding. Yeah. I think there's so much that we can all afford to release at any point in our lives. Like, I don't think I'll ever be at a point in my life where I'm like, this is perfect, I'm good.
Yeah.
There's always like something that can wiggle.
Yeah. And it's frustrating. Like, even for me today, I went to the doctor because I've had really bad tummy issues, like digestion issues. I get bloated. It like really affects me. And I thought I had to go on like all these medications and all the stuff. And when I went, he had done like a food sensitivity test. And he's like, are you eating all of this food? And it's been years of me like chasing this dragon. Like of being like,
seriously.
what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Like feeling sick all the time. And then I was like, yes. And he literally just looked at me and said, well, stop eating them. And I was like, I need a different answer. Yeah. I need you to give me medicine. I need you to just put me under, just do surgery on me, do something. Like I wanted this big thing. And he was like, no, you're just doing something that's not serving you. And it was such a hard pill to swallow. Like I wanted to start crying.
The opposite. We're like, I'll do surgery. Yeah. He's like, that was never the option. You're like,
put me under, doc. But it was it was just an hour ago that I was there, and I was just like, I kept being like, but no, you don't understand. I'm so sick. And he's like, I know, because you're just eating things that make you feel sick. That make you sick, not feel sick. He's like, you are making yourself sick. And I was like, no, there's something wrong with me. Like, I'm sick. And he's like, no, you're making yourself sick. And I couldn't, like, accept it. And I was just like, this is God just being like, girl, you have so much more control over how you feel and what you do than
I love that.
Yeah, than like you are giving yourself credit. Because I always feel like, I think we all do it, like it's always something on the outside where we're like, oh, if this just wasn't like this, my life would be so much better.
Yeah.
If this person just would stop doing this, I would feel so much better or whatever. Yeah. But it's like, no, you have control.
Yeah. That's like literally the perfect example that sometimes it's actually a matter of removing. Mm-hmm.
It could just be as simple as the food that you're eating.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you see me out there eating a corn dog, slap it out of my hand.
If I pass you, just
smack it out.
But yeah, that's been. We were laughing before we jumped on here. We're like, we're gonna do a little recap, but we're laughing because we feel like every time we come on here to give you a recap, we're like, guys, has anyone else been going through it?
It's been a journey.
It's a journey. Oh my gosh, that word is like coming full circle. It's like,
so true.
But I guess, yeah, it really has been like a huge intention for us is to have this platform, be able to share it with you guys. And we want you guys to always feel like we're right there with you. We're not floating above. We're not, we're your peers, and we want to help talk through these things, and hopefully you can find some peace through it or learn something new. And that's always been our intention. Yeah. On the bright side, on the more personal growth and diving further down the wormhole, Ella and I did some Reiki attunements last week. So for those of you that don't know, Ella and I are both Reiki practitioners, and we have been for a year.
Yeah, it's been a
year. And we just recently did attunements. So it was an incredible experience, number one. It was I don't know how to describe it.
So the first time that we did it, it was through a different method where the master doesn't physically do the attunement on you.
Yeah,
so
there we go. Yeah.
Let's rewind. So attunement just means that a Reiki master is attuning your energy to the Reiki energy, and kind of clearing the blocks and aligning the energies of your chakras.
Exactly.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
It's funny because I'm looking at, we're like, if you can see our hands, we're like, it's this.
Yeah. So the first time we did it was with a Reiki master who, it was in a different way, I guess.
Yeah.
Like a different kind of attunement where it was called a placement, but this was a more traditional type of attunement where the master attunes you physically. I know it sounds like a whole thing, but it's not that complicated. Anyways, Google it.
Yeah.
So this was the more like hands-on one.
Right.
And it was crazy, especially because you do it by yourself, but Ella and I did it sitting next to each other, and it's always such an experience with us.
We're very connected. obviously physically, like in this world, but also I think because we've done so many spiritual practices, like you said, that you would traditionally do by yourself together, that it's like if you can picture two bubbles that you blown up with soap, and then when they connect and they make one bubble, that's what happens to like mine and Ella's energy. We just become so sensitive to feeling each other's that these experiences are just, I don't know,
so cool.
Otherworldly.
But also we practice together. So it's like instead of doing Reiki on one person, we'll, like, one of us doing Reiki on somebody, we'll do it together on the person. So we can, like, read somebody's energy together, which is so cool.
Yeah. So I was just thinking as you were talking, so another way to picture attunement is like, think of an instrument, how you have to tune it to the proper frequency.
Yes, brilliant.
I don't know how, I'm like trying to think of it. I guess if you're not unfamiliar with like energy work.
That is exactly it, yeah.
It's just attuning our energy into that frequency. And I think it was like pretty much a full day. Like, it's one of those experiences that like you don't want to run to the supermarket afterwards because you're just in such a like la.
Yeah, it was so peaceful and amazing. I can't believe it was last week. That feels like such a long time ago. But and we learned all about like the bodies, like how we have more than one body, like our physical body, energetic, and all these other bodies, and they go like 15 meters outside of us. So when you think about picking up people's energy or like things attaching to you, like it's so much more, it makes so much more sense than it did before. I think like conceptually I always knew that you absorb people's energy, or you can, you know, when somebody walks in the room and you're like, it's just not a good vibe.
Exactly.
Like
and when they walk in the room, their chances are they're not 2 feet next to you. They're like 10 feet or more from you, but you can already feel it.
Yeah. And we always knew about our other bodies and stuff, but I don't know why. It was just the way it just clicked even more. First of all, I didn't know it was 15 meters.
Yeah, it's wild.
Outside. So imagine every time you're around people, your energies are all morphed in with each other.
Yeah.
So that means even more like cleansing your energy is so important. And if you feel anxious or like chaotic or your mind is running, maybe you just need to take a minute and just clear. Cord cutting, we always talk about, and just like get recalibrated with your own energy and release things.
Again, coming back to releasing, like if you think of places that are naturally very busy and like you can't kind of escape it, like an airport or a supermarket, and you just, I don't know about you guys, you come across all these feelings, or you might feel a bit more anxious or a bit more overwhelmed or whatever the feeling is that you're being thrown into. Sometimes we're picking up other energies that aren't necessarily ours. So like Ella said, it's important to come back to your energy, and by doing so you have to cleanse your energy or like intentionally release. And I think for a lot of people that can be really hard because we're just not aware of it. You just think that like, oh, I'm feeling this way. I just walked through a cloud of anxiety and now it's on me.
Yeah.
But there's ways you can get back to what's actually yours and cut back the noise you may have picked up along the way.
Yeah. One really great way is doing Reiki. Like going and seeing somebody. If you have like a local Reiki practitioner in your community, or I know that you can do it through Zoom or like distant as well. Like I love doing it in person, but they can really like help you to clear that energy off of you.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, so I like highly recommend that.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, we wanted to talk a little bit about 3 tips on how to clear your energy on your own.
Yeah. And if, like Ella said, maybe you don't have access to a Reiki practitioner, or maybe that's not in your budget, the tips we have are free and you can do them pretty much at any time, which is really cool. So the first one, I would say that I think this is the one I would do most frequently because I have access to a large body of water, is submerging myself in water. So whether that's in your shower, in your bathtub, in the ocean, in a lake, wherever you've got like water to like cleanse yourself. So the idea is that you're washing away the day. So when you're in the water, instead of just thinking of, I'm washing my arm, like I'm letting the water act as a tool to release anything that's on me that's not serving me. So things I like to say is like, this water is cleansing me of energies or anything that is latched on that doesn't serve me or isn't mine. So just considering those thoughts and actively thinking at the same time as doing the physical act of showering, right? Because when you're in the shower, you're cleansing your physical body. Imagine it now, you're cleansing your, like Ella said, your energetic bodies that are extending quite far off of your physical body, and mentally practicing that thought while you're showering.
Yeah, like our minds are so powerful that if you set that intention while you're doing that, it works. Like it's so good for you. And I just keep this. The intention is so powerful. And something like the ocean is brilliant with the salt especially and stuff. But even just something simple like your shower at the end of the day, just like imagine it washing it away. Like it's such a beautiful practice. The second one is doing a guided visualization or guided meditation and just picturing a white light or a beautiful color just washing over you and just clearing. The same kind of like how you would either visualizing yourself going into the ocean or going into a shower and just like having that white light or whatever color wash over you and just clear the energy for you. Or if you wanted to use something like YouTube or Insight Timer and look up something like that, following along with somebody I find is really nice because you don't actually have to do that much. You can just follow along and your mind just kind of goes along with the person guiding you, and it's so effective and it's so relaxing.
I love them. Like, love them so much. Because it's exactly like Ella said. Sometimes you're like, I don't have the mental energy right now to come up with a whole 15-minute conversation. I want somebody else to walk me through it and just physically be present.
Yeah. And I've even done one that was 4 minutes.
Yeah.
That was just as simple as like, imagine if it's something or somebody that's really bothering you, where it's like, just imagine them standing in front of you and you take physical like scissors or something and just cut the cord between you. It's just so relaxing.
Like detach
yourself. Like it's so much more powerful than it sounds. Just give that a go. So if you're like, oh, I can't do this for 30 minutes, even a 5-minute one I find is so much better than just not doing it.
I agree.
Yeah.
And the third, and this could be for somebody that prefers, or maybe you're already journaling. Obviously, Ella and I have spoken quite a bit about energy givers and takers. So you could do a journal prompt or a blank page and write down everything that you're currently spending your energy on. And maybe within there make note of what's more so draining than giving. And obviously, like we talk about this all the time, there's things in your day-to-day that maybe you don't love, but like, we need to do laundry. It's not like we can just be like, that's off the list.
It's really sucking my energy.
This is really killing my vibe. That's got to go. But the whole point of this is to be intentional with your time, right? Like Ella said, if you can see where you're actually spending your energy, sometimes it's not about adding more things in, it's about releasing. So the journaling practice just gives you the opportunity to put pen to paper the things that might be pulling at your energy more so than adding to it. So if you're spending 4 hours a night on Instagram, maybe you feel great. That's great. I hope you do. But if it's leaving you feeling, any other way that's not necessarily great, maybe it's a matter of limiting the time. Like that can help with your energy. That can help with anything, so it's just a journaling practice of some sort, whether that looks like a list for you and it's put into 2 energy givers versus takers, or if it's just a log of your day and then you look back and you're like, okay, that can go. Yeah. I can change that.
Even just looking at it and being like, oh, that's probably what it was, makes you feel so much better.
100%.
Right? So, or even if it's just getting it down on paper and just writing out how you feel if you're feeling icky, like it's releasing it, right?
Yep.
So setting that intention again, that this is like releasing.
Yeah.
is so good.
And if you need the physical practice, like if you feel like you writing it down isn't enough, like rip it up, throw it out, like get rid of it.
Yeah.
So that you're doing like a physical act of like removing that and let it go.
I think a bonus one, if I were to, because it just came to me, is having a good cry.
Oh.
I feel like I've always been a really good crier. Like I'm okay with crying.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't bother me. But recently I feel like I don't know, I'm just like, it's too much. Like I've been like holding myself back from it. But if I have like a designated time where I put on like a sad song or like a movie or something and just have a little cry. Driving and like singing a sad song really does it for me.
The emotions.
Like, crying. And just helps so much. Like there's nothing wrong with crying. Your body needs to let go of that energy.
Think of how you feel after you cry.
Oh,
you know that sensation?
Such a good
It
one.
feels so good.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that because I have a movie that like if you ask my husband, if I put it on, it's because I know I'm like pent up. Like something needs to be released, but I can't cry on cue. So I'll watch P.S. I Love You and hysterically cry every time
and
without
you don't
failure.
even need to know why you're crying, but it's just energy that it's the same thing as like doing a crazy spin class or something, and you're just like you just release so much energy. Like it's just good for you.
It's
if you
so
could do
good.
all four at the same time in the ocean, journaling and crying,
you guys will just be brand new. Like
highly recommend. Anyways, we hope that you try some of those or that they're helpful in some way or you had like an aha moment. Let us know. We always love to hear from you. And yeah, the last thing we wanted to do was remind you guys that we just launched our very first program. It's called Rediscover Your Purpose.
Woo!
And it's a self-discovery course, which obviously makes sense. That's like what we do here at GWTF. So yeah, it is all about learning something about yourself, reigniting inspiration, and just lighting that bit of fire under you and making you feel excited about setting goals. And
yeah, it's really cool because I think when Ella and I first started creating it, obviously our intention is to help you find your purpose because we believe everyone's got so much potential and like we know that to be true. And as we were going through it, we're like, there's so much self-discovery in this. This is truly like you're learning so much about yourself and it's self-paced. Like it's all completely led by Ella, like I was about to say Ella and Ella, led by the two of us. And like it's truly everything that we've learned over our personal self-discovery journeys. And yeah, it's super exciting. It's self-paced. You do it on your own time. You have access to a community where you can speak to us directly as you're going through it. You can speak to other individuals that are inside the program at the same time, which is really cool. There's a lot of opportunities to learn something new about yourself. I promise you'll learn something new about yourself. Yeah. Like I can guarantee that. And sometimes it's really fun to go through that with other people or share it. So we're excited to be in there and share that excitement with you.
Yeah. And it's all about self-discovery and soul discovery, which are the two things we love, like our human side and our soul side. So it's just like this beautiful experience. Yeah. And then we have tons of resources and extra stuff for you guys to get in there and either do visualizations, meditations, journaling, journal prompts, affirmations, like anything, you name it that we talk about. It's all in there for you.
Yeah. And it's just going to keep growing.
Yeah.
It's available right now. This will be the only time it's the price that it is.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we don't know when to stop. We just want to keep adding stuff to it because we believe that you guys can benefit from everything we put in there. So we hope you love it. If you have any questions and you want to learn more, if you want to hop on a call, we're always there to chat.
Yeah, 100%. And I'll leave it in the show notes for you guys to check out. We can't wait to see you in there.
Yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode and you learned something new. And like Ella said, hopefully there's something that you can take away or you even had an aha moment. And yeah, we're really excited for what July brings on the podcast. Won't share more yet.
Yeah.
But stay tuned and please feel free to share this episode with a friend that you feel like might enjoy it or tag us on social media. It really helps us grow and continue doing something that we love. And yeah.
Yeah, we have episodes every Wednesday, and we upload a guided meditation once a month. So look out for that. We already have 2 if you want to go and listen to those. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.